Hey everybody, this is Darth Briarboy here, and last night I went to see Spider-Man 2, the original Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, which was a fucking amazing experience. I loved seeing that movie in the theater. I never thought I would ever get the chance to see one of my favorite movies of all time in the theater, but I've done it 3 times. To go on a brief tangent before I go into the main topic of this video, saw Toy Story 1 on the big screen twice last year, saw Spider-Man 1 on the big screen last week, and saw the original Spider-Man 2 last night, which was a wonderful experience. However, sadly, the audience for this screening of Spider-Man 2 was not so pleasant. Now keep in mind, I did like having the theater packed. It felt like a good going out to the movies experience where it's a packed theater, people have their popcorn, and they sit and they enjoy a movie in silence for 2 hours and however long the runtime for the original Spider-Man 2 is. Unfortunately, I didn't get a completely silent experience for 2 hours. I got a bunch of schmucks in the back that had trouble shutting the hell up. I had people to my left, a bunch of damn teenagers, talking all the goddamn time or talking through a decent amount of the movie until, I guess, the action scenes where everybody was just hooked and mesmerized. And I guess to my right, a guy was on his phone to record it for his social media, which, granted, I was tempted to do, but I'd rather live in the moment, watch one of my favorite movies of all time on the big screen. A chance I don't know if I'll ever get again unless it's some anniversary thing, which I think is unlikely, sadly. But I just don't understand, at the end of the day, the rudeness or the entitlement that movie audiences have. You go into a theater, you shut the hell up, and you watch the movie. Now, fortunately, there have only been a few times where the movie audience members really got under my skin. Captain America Civil War, Ant-Man 3, this movie, and I think that's it. It's just fucking annoying to deal with rude audience members, because they ramble, they act like they're at home, and it's like, okay, granted, these re-release showings are cheap. They're $5 a film, as was the case with Spider-Man 1 and 2. But that's not really the point. The cost of the ticket doesn't entitle you to be unnecessarily rude and disrespectful to the audience members around you. You are not the only person paying for this fucking movie. If you want to talk, be on your phone, ramble, just be at home. These are movies you can get on streaming. These are movies you can find cheaply on DVD or Blu-ray. You don't need to go to the theater and basically, at points, ruin an experience that, frankly, for me, I never thought I would get. I was 8 going on 9 when Spider-Man 2 came out. I remember trailers for that, but I never got to see it in the theater. I think my mom was worried that movie might be too intense for me. But I wish I kind of pushed to see that movie in the theater, in retrospect. And for me, being the adult I am now, getting a chance to see one of my favorite movies of all time in the theater is something I never thought I would get. And to just have some rude, entitled teenagers or early 20-somethings, but frankly, I think these were teenagers, pretending like they're not in a theater with other people was just infuriating to me. You're not the only schmucks that paid for a ticket here. I did as well. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is a movie that I would love to do a more in-depth video on. This is a movie that makes me cry. It makes me feel happy. It's a comfort film. It's one of these movies, for me at least, that really got me in to the love of movie making. Every fucking scene in this movie was perfect. Watching it in the theater, I really enjoyed Tobey Maguire's performance and felt his performance in this movie might have been probably his best portrayal of this character. He captured the angst, the doubt, the uncertainty, the humanity, and I was able to really appreciate that more on the big screen than I was at home. But unfortunately, there were moments where the people around me took me out of the film, either by deciding, oh, I need this for my social media or my follower count. No, you don't. I do YouTube videos. I could have been one of the schmucks that decided to take his phone out and record parts of this film, but I didn't. I felt that would take away from the people around me. There's no reason to have your phone out during the damn movie, even to check the time. You really want to check the time? Get a cheap watch. I know I sound like an old man, but I'm sorry. There is no bloody excuse to have your phone out unless there's a freaking emergency. So I guess that's the rant at the end of the day. Movie audiences are very entitled, and I've talked about this other times on the channel, but having to deal with it with one of my favorite movies of all time really sucked. I'm gonna keep it real. The best theater experiences I've had were probably when I was the only guy in the theater, or maybe there were 2 or 3 other people. That would have been when I saw the Batman in IMAX, when I saw Toy Story 1 a second time in the theater, and probably when I saw Dawn for the Planet of the Apes 10 years ago. I guess I'm just annoyed by the level of disrespect movie audiences have nowadays. It's annoying. It really makes you wonder, well, let me think about this. I could see this on the big screen and potentially deal with obnoxious schmucks, or I could wait for it to come out on Blu-ray and appreciate it on my TV with my damn great stereo. And I hate being at that crossroads, but it's an unfortunate reality if you are a cinema buff like me. I'm also pissed because for these promos, they are giving out free posters, and of course, because I'm Jewish, I missed the opening night for the re-release of Spider-Man 2 because it was Passover. And I went on eBay to see, like, look at these fucking prices. Oh, you want crack? You're charging $40 for a free poster? Get fucked. Maybe I'll find it for cheap at Comic-Con, fingers crossed. Movie audiences just need to behave better. COVID really fucked up, I think, basic politeness and decency, and I think collectively made people more selfish, and that's really disappointing to see. Movie theaters are not the only place where you see this shit. You see it in retail stores, you see it at basically any places where you have retail workers or service workers, and it's really sad. With that in mind, live long and prosper and have a nice day, and parents need to just raise their teens better to not be rude, entitled schmucks during movies. That's all I gotta say in this video.